Hello everyone, this is Remleiz from 40k Theories, and welcome to this newest episode of Adeptus Podcastus. Joining me as always, no, Tactica's not actually here today. They couldn't actually make it today due to prior commitments, but hey, it happens. But don't worry, I'm not alone in this episode. For joining me as our co-host this week is the other half of 40k Theories, Naerina.
Hello.
And joining us as our guest this week is a tabletop YouTuber who was very much correct in predicting the advent of 9th edition. No, I'm still not over that because it was so shocking. WarGamerGirl.
Hi, well, appreciate being here. Oh my gosh. That's all right. Oh yeah, like someone can actually predict these things. Goodness gracious, what? Well, I'm getting tingles of 10th edition, so, be forewarned.
Please don't joke about that. We're still waiting for the Imperial Guard Codex to come out. It's like, okay, it's the Imperial Guard Codex. Now here's 10th edition, so your codex is completely obsolete. Fuck you.
Yay, I've always wanted to pay more money for this. The cynical part of me does kind of expect that to be the case, but I'm like, I don't know. Maybe they'll do 10th and then say, here's the new codex. And then Imperial Guard will skip the whole edition with a proper codex.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Hopefully.
What do you think, everyone? Leave a comment down below about your thoughts.
That's right.
Now, before we jump any further into the news, I just want to say quickly something a bit serious. As many of you may be aware, our dear friend Snipe of the YouTube channel Snipe Wib, she's been recently diagnosed with breast cancer, unfortunately. So I'm going to be leaving in the video description and as a pinned comment as well, links to Snipe Wib's Patreon, their Ko-Fi accounts and stuff like that if you wish to support them in this time. Snipe, we hope you get well soon. Now, after that, that's a bit of a downer. In the news this week, Leagues of Votann banned in Germany.
To repeat my reaction just before we started recording this, wait, what?
It does make sense, though. I mean, so if any of you follow Chris Bello, former Mini Wargaming, but he's a painting guy, he was posting rules from the Leagues of Votann stuff, and yeah, they're not just overpowered or overtuned, it's a straight broken problem. He gave some examples of this grudge system where you can place a grudge token on any enemy unit, and that means if you roll a 6 to hit, there's no wound roll, you just deal the damage, and you can stack them, so you could get down to a 4-up to have that grudge system kick in. And then the guns are 2D, 2x, 3D, D3s, I should say, plus 6 damage or something, crazy stuff, immune to invuln abilities, just things that probably make for a pretty unfun experience to the opponent.
Yeah, that does not sound fun at all, because I know from, I don't play that much of the miniature aspect of, 40k, but I've played my fair share of TTRPGs, and I've met these min-maxing people, quite a lot of them, actually. And if these kind of people get to play that's not going to be fun for, not even then, when it comes to, multiple battles. They just overrun everything.
Now, is that a kind of new problem, though? I mean, I'm used to seeing it in tabletop gaming where some new hotness, as it's called, will come out and everybody's super excited because it is so overtuned, and that gets everyone to buy them. And then there's an FAQ that comes out 2 months later that super nerfs everything and kind of brings it back in line after a lot of those purchases have been made.
Sneaky.
Yeah. But I've also seen that where it's been a precursor to a release of a new edition. So, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yet again, leave a comment below. A lot of comments that we're going to have.
I mean, everyone was super excited about squats, but here we are.
Yeah, so excited that squats have now broken the game. So basically, if you're in Germany and trying to go to a tournament, check with your tournament organizer, because it's very likely that you may not actually be able to play as Leagues of Votann in Germany. So, yeah.
Yeah, also I've been having a blast with these names of these kind of different little squads we have. Squads. Goodness gracious. For instance, the Trans-Hyperion Alliance, I'm here like, why do I think of, Borderlands? Okay, there's Hyperion there, but still. And then there's the Emir Conglomerate. Did I say that correctly?
Oh.
Anyway,
Conglomerate, yeah.
And I'm here like, yeah, that was the first ice giant thingy in, all the Nordics, all the legends, etc., etc. And then, of course, there is the Urani Surtur Regulates. I'm here like, now that is the fire giant that causes Asgard to burn. And I'm all up in all kinds of mythologies here. And yeah, I'm having so much fun with these.
And yet, strange enough, the Urani Surtur Regulates are not fire-coloured. They're very earth-tone, like greens and browns.
They only need wind, and then we are actually really properly in September.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, the name sounds fun.
There you go.
So, yeah.
In other news, Warhammer 40k is coming close to celebrating its 35th year in existence. I was going to say 35th anniversary, but that's technically not correct, because that'd be 34th anniversary, technically, wouldn't it? If it's been around for 35 years, it'd be 34th anniversary. I'm just being pedantic, aren't I?
A little bit.
Yes, you're being very, very, very pedantic. But darling dear, it works like birthdays.
Yes. So Saturday, 8th October, a special anniversary miniature is being released for it, which is a Black Templar Marine stabbing an orc in the heart. Needless to say that orc is probably going to survive and just cut the Black Templar's leg off.
The amount of purging with my kin that my brain was just like playing on loop when I saw this, like, purging with my kin. I was like, yep, I think I've seen this before.
It is a really cool looking mini. I don't know, it's kind of going through the neck. What do you have to remove the head to kind of kill an orc, right? Remove the head or destroy the brain. It's like the Shaun of the Dead, like, level of...
Shaun of the Dead.
Now there's Astartes as a name. He's called Sean.
I mean, technically speaking, an orc can survive decapitation. Like, they can just do full head transplants onto new bodies, so...
Oh, yeah. Wow. That is horrifying.
Like, how does your science work? Well...
All right.
I mean, like, I remember a piece of lore saying, like, an orc can even survive without a heart because their circulatory system is so muscular it can pump blood without a heart.
What? Huh?
And I'm just thinking that I'm pretty sure that's not scientifically possible, but okay. I mean, again, this is 40k where science goes to be drowned, so,
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah, I got some recent orky knowledge from my audiobook here, but I mean, I know that, like, because they're all just fungal mush, right, in their brain, and then everything else is just a bunch of muscle, but, like, it doesn't seem like it's all connected. Like, they don't really have much of a nervous system, let's say, or circulatory system. They're just, they lose limbs and don't necessarily realize it.
Is that, where have I put it? Oh, it's over there. Oh, there you go.
That's a flesh wound.
Exactly.
What else do we have in the news? Not too much, actually, this week, all things considered, considering we had Nova last episode, which had all the big reveals. So news front is a little bit sparse this week. We did get reveals for new Horus Heresy Death Guard Preyators, and I have to say the Terminator one, the bare-headed option looks a bit derpy.
A bit, yeah.
Huh.
Also, what's going on with that cape? It's not clean. Why isn't it clean?
Well, it's a Death Guard.
No, well, still, if you want to keep things clean and tidy, you need to also clean your cape.
You hardly guard from death by
yeah.
It's all extra armor, Naerina, obviously.
Yeah, true. Also, that's very good paint job.
It is lovely. For some reason, it reminds me of something between, like, Dune and the Dark Crystal, like something you'd see.
Oh, yeah. True.
I get what you mean, yeah.
Right, like in the face and that kind of weird... there's some 80s about that happening. Ooh, it's cool.
I think I see it, yeah.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, cannot unsee.
And since you mentioned Dark Crystal, I'm still sad that we're never going to get Season 2.
Aw.
I'm still sad about that.
Never say never. It's not like remakes don't happen 30 years later again.
Yeah, looking at Disney.
I'll be dead in 30 years, though.
No, you won't if I have anything to do with it.
Yes, please don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna force feed you cinnamon buns. You'll stay alive. Don't you worry.
Apparently you stay alive much like an orc yourself, because who needs nutrition? Cinnamon buns. Yay.
Yay!
If you keep feeding me cinnamon buns, I'll probably end up looking like the next Horus Heresy miniature that was revealed, the Venen Assassin, which is the final assassin clade to get a miniature, and everyone was commenting about how he has a dad bod.
Yes, exactly.
Well,
I was like, really?
dads need to work. Come on.
Representative more of the population here. It's like, okay, this is what you're gonna dress up as Halloween. It's like when Fat Thor came out. You're like, no.
Yeah, true.
And men everywhere were just like, yay. Only men.
If I see this guy like walking around during Halloween times, I'm like, aw, look at this. This is very wholesome.
You're like, you're brave.
We're going from Fat Thor to a Horus Heresy Gimp.
Yeah.
Why I'm not even surprised that this combination of words just left your lips so casually.
I mean, it's 40k. Have you seen some of the stuff that comes out from it?
Yes, I have. That's why I'm not surprised.
Wow. Now, who was the guy before that with the cool scythe or sickle?
That's the other Death Guard Predator.
Oh, okay. He looks way cooler.
Yeah. So you got Terminator and Power Armored variants.
And I was just, like, that reminds me, like, at one point I was, like, still am a very avid fan of Bloodborne. And I think I was talking to you, Remleiz, about, I think I should just, like, plan because I can a power scythe and a chain scythe for Naerina to use at some point, perhaps in the future. And now I'm looking at this like, dude, this is way cooler than what I had planned. God damn it.
Oh my goodness.
A power chain scythe that shoots scythes.
Absolutely. And those scythes are laser.
Sounds like a Nerf weapon, like if Nerf made stuff in the 40th millennium. 41st, I guess. Yeah.
Everyone's first little scythe.
Right?
It's extreme. Shoots laser scythes.
Battery pack not included.
Oh, God. You get that from the Emperor. If you're
The
lucky.
only thing that's going to get nerfed in the future is the squats, though, aren't they? So, hey, we've gone full circle.
Yeah, I don't see the squats not getting a nerf, just to kind of clarify my point on that. But I think it will take its time to come out with that nerf.
Yeah, because I was just going to ask, like, would it be like was it the Space Wolf or the Custodian Codex where they had, like, a nerf, like, FAQ thing on day one of the Codex being dropped?
Whoopsie.
And it's like, for God's sake, you couldn't hold off printing it for, like, another week or so?
But I just sent it over there, and it's expensive to just, like, reprint them. So, yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty classic example of, like, the right hand not knowing what the left hand's doing, and
Yeah, very
internal... Yeah, people just not talking to each other or being, like, sharing good communication, let's say. I don't know how lean ran GW is, so...
It seems to happen a lot in GW from what I can gather.
Gosh, between that and all of their, like, hilarious leaks, because when Chaos Space Marines dropped, it was, like, in the URL name, and people are like, really? You're trying to keep this a secret? Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, come on, like, focus.
Speaking of leaks, like, I still find it amazing, like, I don't know who it is, but there's someone who keeps leaking the entire codices, like, weeks in advance, and I was like, there's someone who clearly has early access, but it's like, Jesus Christ, if you're just breaking the NDAs like that all willy-nilly, it's like, oof.
Oh, wow, no kidding.
Yeah, like, people keep dropping them on Twitter, like, all the time. It's mad.
Goodness. Huh. How haven't they been caught? We don't know who it is, so...
Yeah. No idea. Clearly someone playing a very dangerous game, because if GW does find out who it is, then I assume that'd be a bit of a legal hassle, I imagine.
Yeah, a bit. Just a tad. Tad bit. Just
Probably.
a tiny bit.
Depending on what country it's in, or, I don't know, maybe it's an inside job.
It's Aaron Dembski Bow.
I feel like rampant speculation is quite necessary at this point.
Perhaps it's Henry Cavill.
Oh man, if GW went after Henry Cavill legally for leaking that stuff, I think that would be the end of the company. I don't think GW wins against Henry Cavill.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
No.
James Workshop versus Superman. Who wins?
Leave a comment below. Yeah, and by the way, as a warning, I've slept only for 4 hours last night, so my jokes are on the level of a 13-year-old little kid, so I'm here like,
Hey,
Sweet.
Grant.
I also join you from the sleep-deprived club. I've been waking up with this annoying coughing, so it's been like keeping me from getting restful sleep. So if so Remleiz, you're getting like the super high quality people today.
absolutely, like the best people.
So to clarify, WarGamerGirl is dealing with a whole bunch of coughing. Naerina is dealing with back pains and sleep deprivation, and I'm dealing with recovering from shoulder surgery. Welcome to this new edition of the Cripplecast, ladies and gentlemen. The third ever edition.
When all your favorite gamers are just getting older. Like, ow.
Indeed. We need some Joe Hendry in here.
Yeah. I believe in Joe Hendry. Do you believe in Joe Hendry? Leave a comment below. I was like, a whole bunch of these leave a comment below jokes and into this episode. I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to put timestamps to what they're responding to.
If we're not having any comments at the end of the show, add the comments. I'm very, very disappointed. I'll be watching, dearies. She said with her best teacher voice.
Also, it's an episode of the Cribblecast without Baltimore. I'm sure he's very upset for this.
We need to get him here as well.
Yeah. Hello, Baltimore. Hope you're doing well. Right. And sticking with Horus Heresy very briefly, there was a piece of, for lack of a better term, DLC for Horus Heresy featuring 1,000 Suns numerators. So basically, math nerds.
Oh God, numerate.
I see what they did there. Oh. It's pretty clever.
Hey, well, like, hey, we have here the word number. Have you heard?
Baby, want to be my denominator? Sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, 13-year-old. Yep, this is the quality you're getting, Remleiz. Sorry, man.
Indeed. I'm not even sorry. Suffer.
I'm going to listen to this later and I'm going to be like, oh man, what did I do?
But is that a saber that I see on one of their hands?
It's a Kopesh.
Oh, yeah, sorry. A curvy sword thingy.
Yeah, Kopesh.
It looks cool.
Yes. Appropriate considering it's an Egyptian-style sword for the Egyptian-themed legion.
True. Otherwise they look very, very Roman, which is not that, they should look a bit more Egyptian, perhaps.
So we are Roman Egyptians fighting Roman Vikings, kind of thing.
Yep. Rome was a very big place.
It was. But I'm pretty sure it didn't get to the Nordics. Well, it's the Horus Heresy, of course it's a civil war.
Indeed. True. Haha.
I just want to say, apologies to everyone listening, because they're probably thinking, how drunk is everyone on this panel so far today? Because we all seem completely out of it, and...
We are completely out of it, but without alcohol.
It's true. Yes, all natural, baby. All natural.
Indeed.
Well, for me, I'm dealing with, like, a big box of painkillers, so...
Oh my gosh, really? Everybody here is so messed up. I'm so...
But good news, I managed to take off the abductor brace, so I can actually move my arm now, after like keeping it for 6 weeks all stuck in a brace.
Oh, jeez, man.
Yeah.
Make sure to like the video, send love Remleiz's way, send some love with likes and all that good stuff.
And the comments, etc.
And the comments.
Okay, Rem, if you keep on doing that, I'm going to send you another chocolate milkshake. Because I can. You know I can.
Is that like how 3D printing is getting farther in Europe? Or
actually, no. It's called Uber Eats.
Oh, yeah. That's where you pay like $30 for a $5 hamburger, right?
Yeah. Gotcha. Basically. But if I get one here in Finland, sending a milkshake or a hamburger or anything like that would be kind of, well, he would get it, most likely. I'm not sure in which condition.
So very briefly going back to the news, turning to Bloodborne this time, we have a new star player for the Lizardmen, which is a nice big Croxagore boy named... Oh, what's the bloody name? I can't fucking find it. Glottal
Bloodborne
Stop.
or Blood Bowl? What? Because you said Bloodborne.
Oh, did I? Sorry, Blood Bowl, not Blood Bowl. Croxagores and Bloodborne would be awesome, though, but no. It's a Blood Bowl star player called Glottal Stop.
Darling, it said Glottal Stop.
Oh,
That's like a vocal, I believe that word stands for like a specific vocal like technique or descriptor. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. As a linguist, I really love this like name, because that glottal stop actually means that kind of stop that you don't say glottal, you say glottal.
Ah, where it catches more in your mouth.
Yeah, that's kind of that bottle of water kind of thing. That's all filled up with glottal stops or glottal stops.
Well, he's a super cute model, but given the rope tied around his face, I feel like he'd have a hard time demonstrating a glottal stop.
Very true, very true.
Although,
free glottal, free the stops.
Free glottal. That's a great shirt.
Free glottal, yes.
He looks amazing. Wow. I love
also the paintwork in that one as well. Goodness gracious, someone has taken their time with it. All those details in the headdress.
I'm not sure if the rope around his mouth is a Steve Irwin reference or not. Because he always likes to do the top jaw rope. The top jaw rope he always puts on crocodiles.
Could be.
Is that Steve Irwin reference?
That would be a reaching reference. That's some serious meta there, but maybe.
I mean, we've had weirder things referenced. I'll get to one of them later on, though.
Ooh, foreshadowing. Exciting.
But yeah, I'm all for things very colourful, etc., etc. So this just pleases my eye and makes my inner child giggle like, yay, colours.
I'm just like, oh, he looks so cute.
Like, oh my god, I want one. Dad, can I have one?
Well, speaking of very colourful, for Age of Sigmar, the Disciples of Tzeentch had their new battle tome put on pre-order, I believe, this week as well. And it has a very colourful cover, which you may enjoy as well. If I could get the thing to load. There you go.
Oh my.
Oh, that's pretty. I'm going to so study this picture and try to use all these kind of colour things in my future drawings.
Ooh. So, as you know, there's actual coloured art of the Crystal Labyrinth now. And it looks absolutely amazing.
It does look really cool. These all look like... These look like album covers. Gracious.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Also the ground to that frigging maze. Like, I just made a couple of little details here. Just not that much. Just a couple of tiny little things.
Yeah, just a few. You got...
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool looking stuff here.
The Spectral Realm from Legacy of Kain.
Oh god, yeah. Yeah, the tentacles and all that.
Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. Was that the PlayStation game? What are you talking?
Yeah.
PlayStation game. Oh my gosh. You're taking me back. Okay. Yeah.
I was just listening to the musics yesterday, like from all the different games. Oh goodness gracious, cannot unsee. Also the sound of Frollo echoing in my head just to do this and do that.
My
Did you say the sound of Frodo?
Frollo.
Oh, we said Frodo. I was like, Frodo? What the hell?
No, not quite.
Clearly another deep reference, Remleiz. Catch up.
Yeah, I did see the Middle-earth in the news there as well, but this is not the way to segue to it.
And there's probably about, like, 3 people who play Middle-earth anyway, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You 3, hello. We haven't really played those games, but I really like the books.
Yes. But I suppose we should say that going on made to order is the Fellowship of the Ring, or the Fellowship Shattered, or whatever it's called, that goes on pre-order today as well, because we are recording on the Saturday this week rather than the Friday.
Yeah. Plot twist.
Plot twist indeed. I know, I'm coughing as well. It's like, I've caught Miranda's cough.
Oh man, had digital transmissions, no joke.
It's a computer virus.
I was just about to say that, goddammit.
Oh man, we're doing
I'm
great
to
today.
catching myself.
Yeah, start coughing after we were discussing about the Death Guard. Coincidence? I think not.
Indeed. They should just clean their capes.
Leave a comment below.
Ah.
I was gonna constantly ask the audience for feedback. Huh? Is this funny? Is this funny? This wasn't funny, was it?
Validate us.
Indeed. We're sickly.
sick
We are
and
the cripple
sad.
triple here.
Pity comments, please.
Yes.
So basically this episode would be called Leave a Comment Below.
And we did get some new books revealed as well. Firstly, for Age of Sigmar, we're getting a brand new Stormcast novel, which I believe is the first time actually getting a dedicated Stormcast novel, I think. Surprisingly enough, called Hammers of Sigmar First Forged. I don't know too much about Age of Sigmar. Tactica's normally the expert for that, but they're not here, so we're just going to be doing very Cliff Note version of this. Excuse me.
Yeah, one should not, judge a book by its cover, but it's a really pretty cover. So, yay.
It reminds me of a Camelot album cover.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it, of course, yeah. And now I have Karma stuck in my head.
Oh, good tune. That was a good
It is.
By Richard, Strachan?
Yes.
Okay. Do we know if he's done any other Black Library stuff?
I'm not too sure. The name does ring a bell.
Yeah, indeed. Let me Google it. Using my Google Fool.
Google Fool.
Google Fool. Okay, I just wrote here FOOL. It means stupid.
He did the Vulture Lord and Hallowed Ground novels for Age of Sigmar. He's done quite a few short stories. Oh, he did that End of Enlightenment novel as well.
So he's definitely all in on Age of Sigmar lore and books. He doesn't really cross over, it looks like, into, say, 40k.
He has done a Bellacore short story, though.
Oh.
Which is probably the most amount of fiction Bellacore's ever received. Let's be bloody honest.
They're waiting on the other kind of texts.
And the other Age of Sigmar novel that was revealed would be one that's more appealing, I imagine, to big fans of the old Warhammer Fantasy stuff, because it is about Grombrindal, aka the White Dwarf, who was a character from Warhammer Fantasy, and now he's got his own Age of Sigmar novel coming out. So, that could be interesting.
Okay, which band cover is this? Because this is also an album cover that we have over here.
Hammerfall.
Like heavy metal, Middle Earth or something.
Something like that.
Blind Guardian, maybe.
Could be. Hold on a second. Glory Hammer could also work.
I'm on a Marth.
Yeah.
Grombrindal.
So we're not even judging books by their covers. We're judging books by their covers as if they were album covers.
Yeah, exactly. It's a deeper level of
Indeed.
analysis in these sorts of
Very
books.
true.
I mean, there is a certain consistency between all the artwork that I've seen today that Remleiz has posted. So there is some sort of similar sensibility it's being approached with, different from what probably what was coming out on 5 years ago, or obviously at the start of Warhammer and 87. Like all of that artwork was amazing, frankly, but totally different. Also similar to band covers. I think it's a very fair analog to compare it to.
Yeah, very true. And I'd say that regardless of the age of the, book or art or anything, we can all agree that the album would have included some sort of metal music there.
Yes. Given the fact that the company actually was like the producer of Manowar for a while.
Not Manowar, no, but they were for Saxon.
The Saxon? I don't know.
Yeah, Saxon very briefly had a few, there was like EPs released via Games Workshop's music label for a time.
Exactly.
Exactly. You had they actually had an EP release that had like Space Marines on the cover.
How bloody cool is that?
Yep.
Which one was that? It was Forever Free. The album Forever Free, that was released on Games Workshop's album for time, because it actually has Dark Angels, Ravenwing bikers on the cover.
And now I'm actually very sad that we don't do this on camera, because you would have seen the most delighted and surprised face. But like, oh my god, how cool is that? And then I was trying to find some words to say and I couldn't. And that is, holy shit, that's an epic cover.
I'm wondering, is that the album that had Wheels of Steel on it? Because it better be with that album cover.
I don't know, but it does look amazing. See, I mean, like the artwork, I love how it's changed, and it seems like to represent some of the more cheekiness of that time, whereas now we've got more of a somber, serious tone going on with all of the artwork.
Almost a grim dark one.
Colorful, more colorful in the case of the Warhammer stuff, but yes, I see what you did there.
But honestly, I just love both the old and the new art, and I just like salute all the people who get to have their art in, on album covers, on the covers of books. Just like, I love it. I just want to just look at these pieces of art, and I want to just absorb all the knowledge the person who has done them has, and just be better at art.
Well, good. Take it as inspiration and not being overwhelmed.
Yeah, like I'm done being overwhelmed, because I used to be very overwhelmed. Like, oh my god, like I can't do that. I'm such a horrible artist. And I'm like, no, everything is a learning opportunity now.
Why is everybody so good except me? Yeah, I totally understand that view. Let's see. Here is the full list of everything that Games Workshop put out.
Oh, speaking of Games Workshop and art and stuff like that, I want to give a massive congratulations to LJ Co, aka KLJ, the artist who did my channel avatar art, because they've been officially commissioned by Games Workshop and Wizards of the Coast to do artwork for the Magic the Gathering crossover.
Nice.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So
that is amazing.
It's like the closest I'll ever be to being canon, essentially. The guy who did my art, he's doing official art now, so big ups to him.
Well, it pays off to do some art.
If I can get the thing to bloody well low.
That's great. I love it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Ooh.
Oh.
Necrons always have this just cool way of looking, this cool presence to them. Huh. Looks like that floor is about to eat someone, though.
Nom 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 nom.
And very quickly going back to Age of Sigmar books, and for Black Library new releases, well, Black Library coming soon rather, Cursed City is coming out in paperback in October, perfect for the Halloween time. And in the meantime, for October releases for 40k, we're getting the Eisenhorn Omnibus, which is probably like the 5th Eisenhorn Omnibus that's been released so far. But this one actually has 4 novels rather than the 3, because it actually has the Magus added to it as well as 4 short stories. We're also getting the Hellbreak novel coming out on standard release, and a novel called Void King, which is about a group of rogue traders, which sounds pretty damn cool, actually, and I'm actually really excited about this one.
Anything with group of rogue traders is always a plus, because I just have a very special place in my heart for rogue traders, just because my first ever experience of 40k was with the Rogue Trader campaign, and I just I adore every single Rogue Trader thing. And if you have a freaking group of them, because we also met in that campaign other Rogue Traders, I just feel this kind of warm fuzzy feeling inside me, Rogue Traders, yes.
It definitely seems like the best part of the world to exist in. Like, you have arguably the most freedom in there as a rogue trader.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Into Imperium Nihilus. Huh. Okay.
Yes, Imperium Nice, that's the half of the Imperium that's on the other side of the Great Rift, and that's basically been cut off from the Astronomicon, so...
Okay. Sorry, I'm hearing some of what you're saying. For whatever reason, your stuff's cutting out on me, man.
Oh, is it? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's cutting out on me too.
Oh, sorry.
I mean,
So
like,
just
here's a
politely,
British
like-
person just like...
Oh, that's very interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly.
What did Remleiz say? Comment below.
I think they might get the actual script because they have the recording.
Yeah,
We
they'll have the
don't.
clean version. Sorry, guys.
We'll just have to listen to this podcast ourselves and be like, what have we been discussing? We have no idea.
No worries.
But yeah, no, the rogue trader stuff seems really cool. Like, they get to travel around. I don't know. I would be curious to explore some of those books after I get my Imperial Guard fix, of course.
Of course.
Naturally.
We're also getting the paperback release for Twice Dead King Reign. We're getting the hardback for Renegade's Harrowmaster, which is that new Alpha Legion novel which we mentioned last episode. And the Successors anthology is coming out on paperback as well next month, as it's the Rogal Dawn novel, which we reviewed last episode, so go check that out if you want spoilers.
Ooh, spoilers.
And I probably cut out all the time as well, but hey.
Yeah, this has been very interesting a couple of minutes just listening to you just like glitch out of existence and back again like you were a robot. And usually I'm the one who people declare to be, any
It's the
sort of
computer
text-to-speech
virus
device.
Miranda gave me. It's corrupting my systems.
Indeed.
Remember to tithe to your tech priests, folks.
Damn right.
Indeed. Sacred oils, Remleiz, sacred oils. You were a tech priest. What the hell is going on? Physician, heal thyself.
Well, remember, you're never supposed to self-diagnose or treat yourself. So,
True.
Doctors
very
make the
true.
worst
Maybe.
patients, after all. Yeah.
Yep.
exactly.
Also, good career advice from here. Yay!
You get everything, a little bit of everything on this show.
Indeed.
And we also got
That's
a new...
40K.
And we also got a new thing for the Rumor Engine, which looks to be like a pair of fans.
When I saw that, I was like, I know it's not Lady Malice, but it could be, but it's not.
Why can't it be Lady Malice?
Because it never is.
Oh, hey man, past results are not indicative of future ones.
True, very true. But every time I see a fan like that, I'm like, oh my god, Lady Malice. I'm like, no, just analyze it properly. Because that also looks like feathers.
That's true.
Yeah, I see wings, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking of this kind of like some sort of headgear with feathers, but not sure. Could be wings as well.
If it's like a feather headdress, it could be for Seraphon, the lizardmen.
Oh.
Because they have the Aztec theming, obviously, so feather headdress, possibly.
Could be.
Maybe. Because
If that is a fan, it's a very no. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying they're two layers. They're offset from each other, so they're either next to each other or it's, I don't know. It's weirdly doubled up. It doesn't look like just one layer, I should say.
Yeah, it does look multiple layery adjectives. Anyway, English language.
Who needs it?
It turns out to be
I
the
don't
sail for a boat or something, I don't know.
Indeed.
It's just a really fancy oar.
No, it's just some random servant in the background, with the leaves with which to cool off the air, like in all those movies about Cleopatra, where they have some sort of servant there with the kind of palm branches just making her cooler.
Oh, yes. So, speculation, where do you suppose, who's the group at GW that decides what little snippet they're going to put out to try and, get the fans all, excited?
The social media guy.
Yeah,
the
I
one
think so,
guy,
yeah.
the one guy who.
The one guy.
So like,
James
it's just
Workshop,
his judgment going. I don't know. Maybe they'll think that like you don't think there's like a team of anybody going. Well, that would be too obvious, or that would be because are the rumor engines pretty inconsistent? Like, are some really obvious and some really not?
That's true.
I have a theory. There's actually just the one guy, but the one guy keeps on talking to other people like, hey, I have a couple of ideas. Would this be cool or that be cool? And depending on who's in, they give their answers, and that person, responsible for the social media might or might not take heed to what they have said.
Could be. Maybe they have like a little Discord thing and they put a poll out. This one or this one, guys?
Could be.
Or they just have like a dart board and they throw a dart at an image and then put like a 1-inch square around wherever that dart lands.
I like that idea even better. I prefer this idea to every idea.
Yeah, it turns out it's like they got the manatees and the balls, with various screenshots of them, and the manatees just pick them out of the ball pit.
Exactly.
Like that episode of South Park.
Now that's a reference I haven't heard in a while.
How do you think they get their rumor engines? Comment below.
Oh, goodness, it's like we're having fun or something.
God forbid.
It's better than coughing or just being sad in bed.
True.
True. And there's a few other minor things in the news, but that's basically it. So if you miss anything, it's probably not of much consequence, really, let's be honest.
If we didn't mention it here,
us.
it's totally not important.
Yeah, I did. Like, if we don't care about it, you shouldn't care about it.
There was some stuff in regards to the Magic the Gathering crossover, because a shop in Singapore released the price for the limited edition sets, and in total for the limited editions, it would cost something like 900 Singapore dollars.
How much is it
that?
That's about £460.
Ow. Ouch, that hurts me. That hurts my wallet, even though it's not even in the same room as I am at the moment.
But allow me to make a
goodness
$900 do reference on Twitter, so...
Oof.
Probably the only time I can get away with making that joke, but hey.
Hey!
Update on the Leagues of Votann. The Montreal Open has banned them too.
Ooh.
Really?
That's what I'm getting told. Yeah, it's...
When is it?
Oh, that's a great question. That sounds like a question for the internet. Let's see.
If you know when the Montreal Open is, leave a comment below.
It's like tomorrow. It's all after the fact.
Like it was like yesterday. Like, what are you talking about?
All right. Let's see here. So, oh my gosh, there's such a huge list of events. Gosh, it's crazy how many tournaments are always happening for 40K. I love it.
No, that's very good, especially now after the... Well, I can't really say after COVID because it's still around, but still, like, after the whole closing everything down, then everything just has opened up and... opened up, what the hell? Opened up. This is how the language works, yes. And I just love the fact that people are, like, seeing each other and they have this kind of activities related to 40K. I really like it.
Yeah. Let's see. There is a GT. When is that? 17th and 18th. Oh, that was in the past. When's the next one? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm failing you guys.
That's all right. I was just curious because, like, if it was something like in a week, then they had to have been like, yeah. Just check out what the hell is going on with the the rules, and then just decide like, okay, ban this as fast as you can.
Yeah,
Bam,
exactly.
ban as fast as you can. Bam, bam.
Well, if enough places do it, then yes, I can see them putting out an FAQ earlier. But
Yeah.
that might actually be a fan-driven response.
How many of these kind of fan-driven responses have there been in regards to something so overpowered to, to be banned just like that? Or just, modified their rules so that is?
Well, you mentioned there was that one with the Space Wolves Custodies that got FAQ'd the same day. That could have been a response. I don't know. Because obviously someone thought it was fine first.
Like a bloody good idea.
Who knows? Still. Well, it'd be interesting to see if any other places ban the Leagues of Votann from being played there, wouldn't it? So,
I mean, it will start a trend, because then other TOs are going to be like, well, you get the idea of like, well, if these other places are all banning it because they feel like this power creep is going to shift the meta too dramatically, then we should too. And so there'll be a lot of people who just want to not rock the boat and just do what everyone else is doing.
That reminds me. Upon hearing the news that the Leagues of Votann were banned in Germany, Mantic Games, the company behind the Warpath and Dead Zone series, decided to put out a little tweet regarding their own space dwarves saying, "Did you know that our dwarves aren't banned in Germany and are in stock?"
Oh, God.
Wow.
So I have to say, fair play, Mantic, for catching on that. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's kind of a fire tweet.
I appreciate that. I mean, it's fine. They can be a little spicy. They're good.
Yeah, but I think this is kind of spicy because they are not actually dissing, James' workshop, as it were. But they're just mentioning, hey, by the way.
Yeah, it's more of like an in-good fun thing. Yeah. Definitely appreciate that a lot more than, I don't know, just attacking someone.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, those look like good models. Goodness gracious. Anyway.
Yeah, that pretty much comes to the end of the news segment, a bit earlier than usual due to the lack of general news, to be honest. Oh, Miranda, you said you read through Catachan Devil, didn't you?
I did. So this is kind of old news because that book came out, I believe, in March or May or something.
Book club!
Yeah, but I finally, it's been something I've been wanting to read, and so I wasn't getting around to it, so I finally just made myself get on with Audible or whatever so I could listen to it. And it worked great. So it's like a 10-hour audiobook, and it's called Catachan Devil. You follow the Colonel Catachan Adalon. You also follow like this, not Death Skulls, but the other Sneaky the Commandos, orcs, Nagrok, and all them. Blood Axes, thank you. Well, the Blood Axes are embedded with Death Skulls, and they don't get along. And so you actually follow like his whole little tale and story from. Well, I guess I don't know if I should actually release spoilers, but it's really fun following, listening.
You can go ahead with spoilers.
Spoilers, everyone!
Listening to like an audiobook of someone describing orcs and yelling "wog" is a special kind of entertaining. So it was very delightful.
I need to do that. I need to listen to that kind of books.
It's great. Like the guy who does the reading of it does a fantastic job. You just hear all of the characters and who they are. But you kind of follow three main characters. You follow Torvin, who is a Imperial Guard conscript. He gets tithed and he learns, his whole regiment gets slaughtered by orcs, and he just happens to be the only survivor because he was lucky and he's not a brave man. But then he ends up getting thrown back in and embedded with Catachan, the Catachan 57th Jungle Regiment, to come back and take an outpost. And so he gets like all excited, like, I don't know how you would imagine like a dweeb getting turned into like an Iron Man of sorts, right? He ends up really enjoying what the Catachan are and trying to really like fit in with them. And it's so fun to watch. And then you also follow Nagrok, who's like the smaller orc. And it kind of is subtle even in the way it's told, because he's a blood axe, right? He's one of his commandos. He doesn't get on with the Death Skulls. They don't understand why he, fights the way he does, because there's only one way of fighting in orc way, in an orc's mind, and he's just slightly more clever. But they point out, that orcs can't really count either. Like their ability to plan is like if you had a dog that was just slightly smarter than another dog, but neither of them are ever like doing algebra or planning anything special. So yes, it was very fun watching like his story and Torvin's story and Adelon's story. You get to see a great representation of how awesome the Catachan are, what badasses they are as far as being cool jungle fighters and what their resilience is and how they live in the jungles and, you know, just how hard they are. And then Torvin as a conscript going from like Imperial Guard rations to like learning about this whole other world about the real fighters for the Imperium, right? Because the conscripts are unfortunately just, you know, bodies, right? To throw into a meat grinder.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, yeah, you watch by the end, like Nagrog has become a full-on war boss because he's, you know, he's slightly more cunning than he is, but he is also brutal because he's more of a Mork guy than a Gork guy, as they point out.
Ah.
And it's really cool the way they tell it because, like, by the end of the story, he's gotten physically bigger, but they don't point that out. But I guess that's a thing, right? Like, the orcs get bigger as they become more and more powerful and more. And so he goes on to be like a knob and then a war boss, and he's just, and he doesn't even, like, he's probably going to be in other books. So I'm like, oh, exciting. I'm going to follow Nagrok now. See if he comes on. So I definitely recommend it. It was a super fun read. It seems to have some good ratings too on it. So I don't think I'm just, because it's like my first full black library book. Like I read the Sister of Battle ones a long time ago, but I don't really remember them. So
yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely recommend it. It's a very enjoyable read. It got me excited enough to start in on other Imperial Guard books, and now I'm reading the first Gaunt's Ghost one.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
I didn't realize how many books there are because I was like just going to add stuff to the wish list so I could just keep track of them. And it's like after 13, I was like, all right, well, it's going to be a while before I get here. We'll see.
It's like a popular series or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you mean it's still ongoing?
Which is exciting. I mean, I like having these characters you can follow. My first impression for the first hour of Gaunt's Ghost is like, is everyone just excited because Gaunt is just like one of the only commissars written in 40k that's not a complete douchebag? Is that like his claim to fame? I'm sure there's more to it.
Hopefully.
Man, the way they like describe Imperium Administratum, oh man, like if Terry Gilliam's world, right, of what was it?
Brazil.
Yeah. Or there was a scene he actually did in, I think, Jupiter Ascending that was like this stupid administrative, like ridiculous scene. That's all I see of like the 40k Administorum.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
I just remember like a little tangent here. I think it was in one of our Dark Heresy campaigns in which we were, I think it was on a mining world or something. And there was this sickness going on, and we had to like stall the kind of Imperium's bureaucracy there so that, you know, the people would actually get better and they wouldn't just, you know, burn the place because, there's a virus going on or something like that. And we were like, okay. So what we need to do is just send one letter, one message to just a wee bit to the wrong place, and it'll stall this whole thing for at least 10 decades. Or a century, if you will. So I think we're good, yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, it's a big old bloated system. It makes a lot of sense, and there's a lot you can kind of write about. And it's nice to see, like, when there's occasionally like decent people in there trying to do their thing, which seems to be who Ibram Gaunt is.
I'd say, speaking of the Administratum, I always have this mental image of it being like, you know, the federal bureaucracy in Futurama, just with more skulls.
Yes.
Oh, God, yeah. Now that you mention it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, speaking of books, I've made a start on the new Siege of Terror book, Echoes of Eternity. So consider this your spoiler warning now. If you wish to avoid spoilers, skip to the timestamp in the description. Don't you forget about Keith, I believe in Joe Hendry, blah, blah, blah. Anyway.
Book club. Yay!
I'm only about a quarter of the way through it so far, but it seems to be jumping all over the place so far, but I suppose it's kind of thematically appropriate given the whole chaos of war and how, manic everything is in these last final hours of the siege kind of thing.
Understandable.
So we start off on the Conqueror, the World Eater's flagship, with Latara Saren. Khan the Betrayer, well, the Bloody at this point, he's not the Betrayer yet, but Khan, he's now alive, somehow, missing his axe. He's just standing there on the bridge, kind of like just silent, and it's like, Khan, you there? Okay, good talking to you, Khan, kind of thing. Like, Khan's just not saying anything at all. We then jump back to Terra to Kargos Bloodspitter, the World Eater's apothecary. And he's walking around, with an axe in his hand. It's not his axe, not his chain axe. He's walking around, and someone calls him from behind, saying, "Apothecary." He turns around, there's a couple of World Eaters. He's like, we need you to do the whole, gene seed extraction on these dead ones. And Kargos just looks at his equipment, his Narciphium, his, Medicaid kit thing, it's broken. His tubes for storing gene seed, they're completely shattered. It's like, well, I can't really do this. I haven't got the equipment. I mean, I can rip them out, but I've got nowhere to put it. Everyone's just buggered off. Oh, okay. Everyone's just buggered off because, the Butcher's Nails made him to go look for a fight. It's like, oh, all right then. So Kargos just basically walks off himself and eventually ends up bumping into a Wordbearer's apostle, a Dark Apostle. And it's like, oh, I remember you. You're a good lad. You used to fight alongside us, didn't you? It's like, yes, I did, yes. Oh. How's things? Kind of thing. And they end up talking, and Kargos ends up being, more cognitively sound, but being in the presence of this Wordbearer. So they end up, marching along with a column, basically, looking for more foes to fight, because, Imperial forces are being pushed back further and further and further. So the end is nigh, blah, blah. We then cut to Nasir Ahmet of the Blood Angels, the future chapter master of the Flesh Terrors. He believes he is possibly the only loyalist alive at this point because, he hasn't seen anyone alive. All he's seen around so far is demons, so he's just basically just killing demons left, right, and centre, just trying to find his way to the palace walls so he can, reinforce his defences somehow. We then cut back to Latara... No, before we go to Latara, we actually go to Zephon, another Blood Angel, the one had the bionic limbs. He's been woken from a Susan membrane coma. And Ark and Lan's basically speaking over to this intercom thing, saying, okay, you need to get out of there now. Why? What do you mean, why? Because the traitors are right upon us and you're about to be overrun. Get the fuck out of there, essentially. And Zephon and a couple of other serfs, they basically making their way out of the corridors, out of this lab that's basically slowly being corrupted by chaos. The walls are starting to grow pustules, the metal's starting to rot, as in biologically rot kind of thing.
Oh, so they're in Silent Hill.
Kind of, yeah. And as they're walking through the corridor, they see people merged with the walls and stuff like that. And one of them is a woman who's described as having hairy teeth.
Ew. No.
Gross.
Ew. That reminds me of a dream that I've had. No. No.
I swear is a covert Snipe and Wib reference. Because Snipe and Wib have their character of Susan Hair for teeth. And we know Aaron Dembski-Bone's a huge fan of Snipe and Wib, so I think that might be...
I think that's a reference.
I think that's a Snipe and Wib reference, so nice job.
That's cool to see.
Yeah, so Zephon kills that woman and they try to make their way out, etc. Then we go to Latara Saren on the Conqueror. All the human crew on the Conqueror are in a very bad way because there's no food, there's no water because all the water tanks on the Conqueror have turned to blood because of since Angron got turned into a demon prince, all the water is now blood. The Astartes are fine, they can consume that no problem, but humans, they need water. So she goes to her quarters to try and contact Horus on the intercom, basically ask for supplies my mortal crew needs supplies. And as she enters her quarters, Khan's in her quarters just staring out the window. It's like, you good, Khan? You gonna join in the conversation? Okay, good talking with you. Khan's just completely silent at this point. He's not spoken a word since coming back to life. And so Latara-san basically makes a call to Horus's ship, the vengeful spirit. But answering the call is not Horus, it's a guy called Argonis, who is Horus's equerry. And Latara's like, excuse me, I demanded to speak to Horus, I demand to speak to the manager, kind of thing. I use my higher security clearance, I need to speak to Horus right now. It's like, well, you can speak to me because I speak with Horus's voice. You don't speak with Horus's voice because you're not Horus. So, Latara gets very, very angry and starts shouting and swearing at him, and Argonis just cuts the feed. And this pisses Latara off even more. Saying, you goddamn piece of shit, Astartes bastard. And upon saying bastard, the screen comes back on, and Horus is on the screen.
Whoopsie!
And Horus says to Latara, I trust that wasn't directed at me, Captain. And Latara's like, oh, Warmaster, I was just speaking with your equerry. It's like, oh, yes, Argonis, yeah. Makes sense now.
Yeah, he is a bastard.
Yeah, he's a bit of a bastard.
It's like, what do you need? I need supplies for my mortal crew because they're dying. And Horus starts basically going off on a bit of a tangent, just like how we're so close to win. We're about to win. Isn't it glorious that we're about to win? Good day, Captain. And Latara's like, well, that didn't help at all. Kind of thing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I still need the water.
We then cut back to Kargos Bloodsplitter. And he and the Wordbearer are talking. I've forgotten what the Dark Apostle's name is, but they start talking about Khan. And it's like, oh yeah, I remember Khan. It's like, yeah, so, Kargos, why do you have Khan's axe?
Oopsie.
Oh, this thing?
And then we get a flashback of basically what happened after Khan's duel with Sigismund, after basically Sigismund absolutely disemboweled and dismembered him. And Kargos found Khan on his knees and was like, oh, he's on his knees. That's a bad sign. That's going to upset everyone. I'm going to get him close. I'm just going to push him onto his back so he looks like he fell in battle. And even though Khan's dead in this flashback, Khan starts speaking to Kargos Bloodsplitter in his head, like telepathically.
Mm.
And it's like, what? It's basically like implied like, oh, Khorne is going to breathe his life back into him, etc. And Khan got stitched up and he got better.
I mean, it seems to happen in this world.
Goodness.
Although better is perhaps a relative term.
I mean,
true.
I mean, he is no longer dead. Let's put it that way.
There you go.
There we go. And, so the World Eaters are basically carrying on with their convoy. They find some Imperial forces and they get into a huge scrap. Kargos is basically just killing, people left, right, and center. He kills one Blood Angel. He kills another Blood Angel. Kills another Blood Angel. He goes for another Blood Angel. But this Blood Angel parries him. And then Kargos just stops. He tries to swing again. His attack gets blocked again. And then he realizes who he's fighting. It's like, oh, I remember you. You were my brother in the fighting pits on, back in the old days. Oh, Naerina, it's you. Brother. And Naerina is just like, basically calls him like, you piece of shit traitor.
Hello, brother. Die.
Pretty much. And that's pretty much where I've gone to so far.
Well, that's pretty exciting.
Why is it... Yeah, every single book that you're reading is a wild ride.
I mean, it's not as crazy as the Blackstone Fortress stuff.
True.
That's just a drug trip, in literary form.
Very true.
But yeah, it's pretty good so far. Still not quite... I hopefully should have it finished by next episode, so if you wish to know what happens next, tune in then. So we'll come out the spoiler room now, and I can't believe Joe Hendry did that to that couple. Claiming to be that...
oh my God.
The father of that baby. Oh my God. Anyway.
Yeah, but then again, the boombox was there, and it made it all better. But then again, it's a point of view question, really.
Yeah.
I just want to know what they're going to do with the child.
Say again, sorry? Didn't catch that.
Oh, I said I just want to know what they're going to do with the child.
Yeah, very true.
And there's going to be a few people in the comments going, who the hell's this Joe Hendry person they keep talking about?
Well, let us know in the comments.
There it is.
Ah, yes, indeed. Please let us know in the comments.
So, Naerina, has you been reading anything?
I haven't, but can I tell you guys a wholesome story that has nothing to do with 40k?
Yes, you can.
Because a friend of mine has just finished Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Mm-hmm. And this has been done, sorry, I'm outing you, my darling friend, in an effort because he has met a girl who really likes Jane Austen. And he asked me yesterday, like, Naerina, I know that you are an avid Austen fan. Could you please list as many compliments as you can think of from the Pride and Prejudice? Because I would like to use them to woo this lady. And I was like, well, I can remember insults better from that book than compliments, but I'll try my best.
Oh.
It was so very wholesome. Also, it's a very good book, like, recommend it to everyone, but still, it was such a wholesome moment. And I'm actually writing a story, just like not about Pride and Prejudice or anything, but just happened to be writing a story with this friend of mine, like relating to our TTRPG characters. But still, those kind of literary adventures I've had have been just like going through books that I've read and finding compliments so that, you know, a friend of mine can woo a lady.
Aww.
He's just been very wholesome.
That's pretty awesome. I appreciate him sort of trying to do the homework. Like, sort of through you, I guess, but...
Yeah, but still, like, he actually, well, I think he technically listened to the book because it was an audiobook, I guess. Mm-hmm. But I told him, like, yeah, just keep me posted on where you are at which point, so that I can just, like, comment on things. And he actually did it. He actually commented out to me, like, yeah, now Darcy gave the letter to Elizabeth. I'm like, you're over there, my darling child. This darling child is older than I am, but it's still I'm there like, excellent, dearie, excellent. Oh, just you wait. Oh my goodness. It was so freaking wholesome.
That's pretty adorable.
See, whenever I hear Pride and Prejudice, I keep thinking of the parody Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
And Zombies, yep.
Yeah, I should really, really both read it and watch it.
The movie is okay. I mean, considering it's sort of up there with Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, you know?
Yeah.
So it knows what it is. It's interesting enough.
Oh, fun fact, Abraham Lincoln invented the choke slam.
Wait a minute.
What?
Yeah, the pro wrestling move, the choke slam, Abraham Lincoln invented that.
Yeah, I grasp what you said, but I didn't grasp what you said, if you catch my drift. I'm trying to process this information.
What's, like...
Because apparently back in the day, Abraham Lincoln was a fan of wrestling and boxing, and apparently during one boxing match, he got so pissed off his opponent, he just grabbed his opponent by the throat, just lifted him up the ground, slammed him down. So, yeah, he invented the choke slam.
Huh.
Good for you, Abe.
Huh. I don't know what to say to that. Other than, like, really? No one's done that before him?
Yeah. Or was it the only public display of such an...
maybe he made it popular.
A movement.
Maybe he made it cool.
True.
I dig the WWE belt.
I want to believe that the picture is real, but I don't think it is.
Well, Abraham Lincoln is also famous for his quote about not believing everything you read on the internet.
True. I've heard that quote.
Oh man, I feel like I'm lacking here. I don't have like a random fact to share with you all today.
I'm here with my glottal stop like, hey, I'm a linguist.
Hey man,
English was my major, so yeah.
I knew kind of what a glottal stop was. I remember there's a really fun set of YouTube videos that talked about like, you know, voice techniques and all of that, and the glottal stop was one of them.
Cool.
Yes.
Nice.
Maybe I should share them with you.
Ooh, please do. That really helps me with all sorts of voice acting things as well, because if I'm not a, celebrity in Finland, I don't get any voice work. So every kind of voice work that I've ever done has been in English. ironically. But still.
Huh, that sounds about right. You know, it was always a...
Don't worry, one day you'll get voice work to be on the Moomins.
Oh, that would be so cool. That would be so cool, honestly. I think with my voice I would be the Moomin mama, I think. Because I can be the kind of gentle and loving and caring. That's what I can be with my voice usually. There's no insane French person there, unfortunately, so...
Was that the one with the switchblade?
No, that's Moomin Troll.
Right, okay. Who's the one with the shotgun?
Moomin Papa.
Right.
It was the one with the sisters. That's Moomin Mama.
Right.
All right, you guys sound like you're just talking gibberish now. Are you making fun of me?
Basically, I was in this kind of other podcast in which we were deciding on the fact that Moomins should absolutely be, combined with 40k. So a friend of mine was listening to this podcast and started making pictures. Or actually, two friends of mine were, started making pictures of these kinds of things. And it escalated into two, different kind of friend groups that I have. And if I can find... Oh, there it is. I found a picture for you of one of those things that were made. So that's Moomin Mama with the sisters over there. And perhaps the people that are listening to this don't, see it. But in the chat, there is now. Sisters of Battle with Moomin Mama.
Huh. Seamless integration.
Absolutely.
Have to say, I'm impressed.
I just there are a lot of these, a heck of a lot of these, and we just all got carried away with all of these things. And what else?
I mean, I've seen weirder 40k crossovers.
True.
There was that one, someone did a Sisters of Battle immolate a tank, but as a magical girl.
That sounds weirdly wholesome.
Yeah, a lot more wholesome than, the fan mashups I usually see.
True.
What the hell?
Yes, these are legitimate things that my friends have made.
Oh gosh, I'm so
Remleiz,
confused.
is there a possibility that we can add these to the, description or comments or somewhere, these pictures?
I'll try and add them to the video description if I remember.
Excellent. I'll try to remind you.
If I forget, leave a comment down below.
Oh my gosh. Alright, these are getting really good.
Yep,
they kind of grow on you after a
Moon
while.
Papa's just he's just confused why he's looking at a blunderbuss, so why don't I get a laser?
Indeed.
Oh, I got a shitty blunderbuss.
It's not even working.
It's so sad, right? Because if you play the game, you're like, man, las guns are the most pathetic guns in the world. You read about it, you're like, las guns are cool. They incinerate through things. They have this cool hum and this, they sound like really aggressive, crazy weapons. I was like, yeah, that is not represented.
Pew, pew,
oh my
pew,
gosh.
pew, pew.
Well, he certainly has the angry face.
Yes, he's ready for battle.
Give that boy a chainsword.
He hasn't earned it yet.
Aww. No power.
But he will.
We're one day going to get a 40k crossover where the starting faction is going to be Moomins versus Smurfs or something.
Oh my
Oh
goodness
god.
gracious.
Oh god, yes.
You bring in the Care Bears, maybe some Rainbow Bright, My Little Pony. What else?
And the gummy bears.
Oh, gummy bears, was that a thing? Oh gosh.
Yeah, the gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. It was a Disney show.
I was not a rich enough kid to have Disney growing up. Just stolen cable. Oh my goodness.
Moomin Papa does not approve.
Wow. Oh my god.
So for those who may not be aware of what a Moomin is, it's basically a Finnish hippo.
Oh, there's actually an episode of Moomins in which they are put into a zoo because people think they are hippos and they are trying to prove that they are not hippos. But yeah, it is originally I think it was a book series by this Finno-Swede author Tove Jansson. about these little creatures, Moomins, that lived in the Moomin Valley. And then there are comics about it, multiple series about it, which is interesting that there's actually the Moomins has been my first anime that I've ever watched because, well, it was made in Japan.
Oh.
Technically, the animation at least. And very distinct voices that they had when I was growing up, which was very weird because when we were doing the kind of practicing for our final tests in the, high school or post-secondary school or sixth form, now it is in all kinds of, school forms that we have represented over here. There was the voice actor who voiced Moomin Troll, who is a Finnish Swede as well, does both the Finnish and the Swedish voice for the character, was speaking there to me in Swedish. Thank goodness it was all only practice for the final test because I was like, Moomin Troll is talking to me. I have no idea what he said. Like my listening comprehension test has never gone as horribly as then. I was like, Moomin Troll, yay, childhood character talking to me.
You're like starstruck.
You were stuck, yeah.
Yeah, basically. I was like, oh my God, I know this voice.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in America. Sorry, go ahead, Remleiz. We probably don't have to keep talking about the Finnish Hippo, although I'm happy to keep talking about the Finnish Hippo.
I was going to say, I think we might have time for some questions. So, Naerina, if you could be so kind as to bring up the questions, because that's normally Tack's job.
I was ready for this.
You're ready?
I was
Oh
ready
my
for
God.
this. Yeah, I had this whole tab open here with the word question searched already.
It's easy crazy.
I'm trying to be professional here. So,
I'm glad one
and
of us is.
I haven't read these questions beforehand, so be prepared. Do we, I don't remember, do we usually read out loud who asks the question or just the question?
Just the question itself.
Okay, thank goodness, because some of these names I'm very, horrified if I have to try to pronounce these because I'm afraid I'll get them wrong. Question. Do the Catan represent aspects of reality in the same way the Chaos Gods represent emotions, such as the Nightbringer being entropy?
Not really, no. The Catan were purely material beings. They don't really represent, spiritual concepts, essentially. The closest really is the Nightbringer, which is basically like the personification of death, in a sense. But even then, the other Catan don't really represent anything, really, other than, just being representations of the Necrontyrs' own gods, because that's what they were physically based on. Like, their physical bodies, I mean.
Well,
Yeah, I'm thinking about something like the Void Dragon, who is apparently on Mars, etc., etc., etc. Long story short. I don't think that the Mechanicus, if they think the Void Dragon is the Omnisire, really have anything emotional going on in the lore necessarily, so no, from my knowledge.
My understanding was the Catan were like remnants or pieces of what the star gods prior, right?
Yeah, the Catan of today are basically have been shattered into various shards.
Yeah.
Because the Necrons basically rebelled against them after the war in heaven,
So, I mean, unless the star gods represented any specific, say, human aspect, I don't see why the Catan would.
Yeah. Next question?
Mm-hmm.
When we get a Demon Fulgrim model, will it be the longest model? He's a 4-armed demon snake, so it would make sense he could be one of the biggest non-Forge World models that could rival a Baneblade or Knight in size.
I imagine if we do get a Demon Fulgrim model, it'll be very much like Marathi's model in terms of size.
What size is the Marathi's model? I don't know.
I'll just try and get an image up for you to look at, because there's a version of the snake version, a version of the elf version. So I'm saying version a lot, blah blah blah. But yeah, basically like that, I imagine.
Oh right, yeah.
So it's as long as there's a lot of coiling, it can count. Although those wings don't joke around. Goodness.
Yeah, I think it's better to do with a lot of coiling because otherwise everyone's going to use the Fulgrim model as a yardstick or something like that.
Oh, fuck, you didn't say something else.
Oh God, no. No, Rem.
Are
no.
you trying to suggest like how to get more girls into 40K by selling these models?
Oh my. Have you met my friend Fulgrim over here?
Leave a comment. No, don't leave a comment below on that one.
Please, no comments on this below. Oh God. But yeah, it's just like when it comes to just printing the models, absolutely, coiling has to be a thing, because otherwise, think about the poor people who get that thing, like probably that thing out of the box, and they have to do so much gluing. Like, how long is this tail?
I feel that way about
And
all
it'll
of
probably be
those
unbalanced
models
as well.
I still don't have my Baneblade put together. I'm like, holy crap, this thing's too intimidating. Like a 3D printer is very attractive as an option because of what it takes to put some of these models together. Holy cow.
Yeah, it's a proper workout.
Well, it's a bunch of problem solving, and then it's like, yeah, you got the instructions, but, you know, the glue doesn't easily come undone if you glue the wrong piece. So you got to be, like, kind of on it
true.
mentally.
Yeah, there's no IKEA trip. All right, question. What will Magnus do if there were psychers who don't like him or his kingdom and want to leave?
Kill them, probably.
Turn them to ash.
It's like, no, you do want to be here. You do want to be here. Bang, no, you do want to be here. Good.
Exactly.
This is called a Jedi mind trick.
I was going to say, like, head exploding, but okay.
A very brutal Jedi mind trick.
He'll go full scanners on them. God, that's such a good film. I need to watch that again at some point.
Yeah. Will Kato Sicarius and Farsight ever fight again? And if so, will Farsight have a fighting chance to beat him?
I mean, considering that Farsight now has a magical sword that pretty much makes him immortal, effectively, I think he has a chance, yes. Whether they fight again, it depends, considering that Kato Sicarius is effectively stuck as Gilliman's bodyguard now, as one of his bodyguards, so he'll go where Gilliman goes, and whether or not Gilliman will go to any war zone that has the Farsight enclaves involved is another matter entirely, so...
Yeah. Nothing to add to that. That's a very good way of explaining the whole thing. If Shadowsun fights Farsight and loses, will Farsight kill her, let her go, or convince her to join him, or form her own enclave?
Sorry, you can't say that again, sorry?
Yeah. If Shadowsun fights Farsight and loses, will Farsight kill her, let her go, or convince her to join him, or form her own enclave?
Knowing Farsight, he'd probably just let her go.
Oh?
Because
Really?
Because there's such respect between the two, he'd probably just let her go, because in the first Farsight novel, for instance, it's implied that the two are effectively, like, in something akin to, like, you know, a romantic relationship.
Aww.
So, considering, you know, how much, you know, he cares for her, I can't imagine him wanting to kill her. If anything, the noble son of Farsight will probably just say, you know, okay, I'll leave you to go, but yeah.
But why not? Why not
sad.
have her join him, though? Why not that?
I can't see that happening purely on the basis that Farsight knows the truth in regards to chaos, and that's where Shadowsun doesn't necessarily know that. Like, she's very, you know, staunchly pro-ethereal, essentially, whereas Farsight's not so much these days. So, due to the differing ideologies, it may be difficult for him to convince her to join him. And considering that Farsight, you know, after learning the truth in regards to chaos and the Aetherius and all that, he basically hid himself away in isolation for God knows how long, because he viewed himself as a threat to the whole greater concept of the greater good. You know, he thought, like, you know, if he stayed around, you know, the entire Empire would just collapse. Which is part of the reason as to why he left.
Oh, yeah, true.
Interesting.
So kind of like, well, we're not gonna join forces in this manner if we ever happen to be, up against someone else, perhaps then, but not really for a longer period, perhaps.
Kind of, yeah.
But don't lose my number, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Call me, maybe. All right. Oh, God. If there were Tau that were going through mutation on a planet, getting taller and growing horns, would they be known as the Taurus?
Oh, God.
I approve.
This is a legitimate question here.
I approve.
The public demands answers, Remleiz.
All I'm going to say is that I'm disappointed that Black Taurus didn't win the Triple Threat Revolver last night.
Aww. But then again, how much of a fish, person are they? Oh, goodness gracious, I need some more sleep anyway. Next question. In the Black Legion series, it is stated that machine spirits are pieces of humans like a brain or some bone, which gives the device its spirit. However, I haven't seen this presented anywhere else, and I've heard them just called programs or algorithms. So, what is a machine spirit?
Check out my video on machine spirits.
Ooh, link that. That's right. Enjoy that.
Link it in the comments below. And, I think that was that final question with the word question in front of it.
Oh. We're going through them very quickly, yeah.
Yeah. Goodness gracious, nobody had any questions. Everyone was just in awe of Admiral Burke.
If you have a question you'd like answered for next episode, leave a comment down below with the word question as the prefix.
Yes.
See, this wasn't just me asking for comments for algorithm's sake. It's legitimate.
Yeah, there's the actual legitimate thing, because otherwise it is very hard to see which questions are for the podcast and which ones are not. So if you want to honestly ask something, tag it or, put the word question in that, at the front. Thank you very much, everyone.
Yes. Right. Unless anyone has anything else to add, I believe that's pretty much it for this episode. Thank you very much to everyone who tuned in to listen. We apologise for all the drunkenish rambling of pain and coughing and drugs for painkillers and stuff like that. But hey,
basically anything else but alcohol.
Yes, exactly.
And thank you very much to WarGamerGirl for joining us for this episode.
Thank you for having me. It's always fun hanging out with you guys. Naerina, it was so fun hanging out with you and getting to giggle about Tauruses.
Yeah, absolutely. Pleasure's all mine. We need to do this again. This was hilarious. Loving it.
Yes. And
if you'd like to see more collaborations between Naerina and WarGamerGirl, leave a comment down below. Hey!
Love it.
Goodness, no. I think comedy comes in threes. I'm not sure which state of comedy are we at the moment.
Well, it's a multiple of 3. There we go.
Fair.
So, until next time, this has been Remleiz from 40k Theories.
This has been Naerina, also from 40k Theories.
This is Miranda jumping in and crashing that party.
And we'll see you all again next time. Bye-bye.